Ladies and gentlemen and ninjas, welcome back upon the African Geekdom. It is I, your man JP. It's a Saturday, it's hot as hell. Woo! I made myself the biggest mojito I could. Ras man, me not play. It's hot out here. So drink up. Is this a rum and coke review? No. I'm gonna be talking about an audiobook I recently. Wow. Combination of listen and recently. Listen. This rum has had more effect than I. Oh well. Bottoms up.
Libations for everybody!
Yes, I'm gonna be talking about an audiobook that I recently listened to. Carrion Comfort by Dan Simmons. I dare say this is my first time listening or being exposed to anything Dan Simmons. My boy, Daniel Green and Kronk the book guy seem to swear by this guy. So I gave it a whirl with this horror novel, a one-off, as it wouldn't take up all of my time as getting to a fantasy or science fiction series. That's an investment. So I tried this out. Carrion Comfort, published in 1989. This, while a horror, doesn't seem like your typical horror. This was a character-driven horror. And days later, and I finished this like a month ago. Months, I guess. I remember the names of these characters. Sheriff Bobby Joe Gentry, Natalie Preston, Tony Harrod, Melanie Fuller, and Oberst Wilhelm von Borchardt. And as these days, the trend seems to be, especially in movies, relatable villains. Did Disney do this? No, it's not just a Disney thing. But all villains seem to have the urge to be relatable. That's the favorite type of villain, and it's on YouTube. No. These villains here are not relatable. They are despicable.
Shit, boy.
Basically, this is about mind vampires of a sort. A different species of human who evolved to be able to control other humans. They are basically the apex predator, and they feed off misery. It makes them younger, feeding off brainwaves and the misery that they cause, and therefore their emotional growth seems, as an explanation by Dr. Saul Lasky, one of our main characters, has been stunted. He's a psychologist, and so they're just psychotic. And they have fun murdering and manipulating people. And it's especially icky when Dan Simmons, in all his wisdoms, places you in the POV of either Melanie Fuller or Tony Harrod. Tony, baby. Booby. A Hollywood producer. And Dan Simmons was onto this shit way before now. 1989, remember this was published. Has this ability, and he gets inside, especially women's head. His defect is that he can't, or he finds it disgusting to get into men's heads, so he only does his tricks with women. And you can imagine what he does to actresses. Casting couch be damned. So, the premise, I went off on a bit of a tangent, but I'm sticking to this book. The premise is basically these supernatural creatures who feed off people's misery. And boy, Saul Lasky, who is a Holocaust survivor. I've been exposed to things in this book about the Holocaust, or sections or things that happened that I've not been exposed to or had to think about. I remember when I studied World War II in school, when we reached, for me, peak disgust for me was the ovens, the part about the ovens. And if you know, you know. I mean, I couldn't get past that, but you had to study the whole thing. But like that part, even that image of bodies in those ovens, it was black and white, poor quality, but it stuck till now. I might have been 14, 13. And in here, there's some graphic depiction of war crimes and the atrocities perpetuated on the Hebrew people. Man, that a bit much, but it lends itself to building up this character of Saul Lasky, who was an amazing character. He was determined. You couldn't put the boy down. I mean, a fantastic trio, investigative trio of Bobby Joe Gentry, Natalie Preston, and Saul Lasky as they hunt down these mind vampires. The horror is in there. The horror aspect is in there. Ends on a bit of a sour note, I'd say, but horror, you know. Really looking at it, there are these different factions vying for power, playing mind games, and using people as chess pieces. There's vampire factions that are different ones. The Holocaust scenes are vividly, brilliantly, and horrifically depicted. Oh damn, I said it, but I haven't cringed so much at Nazi war crimes since school. This book was both impactful and entertaining. It made me think. Bravo, honestly, chapeau, Mr. Dan Simmons. This is not a book review. Like I said, I don't do book reviews. It's just a discussion between us. You understand? What are y'all's favorite Dan Simmons novel? Put it down in the comments, please. I want to know. Have any of y'all read or listened to Carrion Comfort? Is it even right for me to say it was a pleasurable read? I was sufficiently entertained. Oh yes, and the action. That whole action sequence through 1980s Philadelphia with the gangs, where the gangs are the heroes of the story, versus the vampires, versus the feds who are controlled by these vampires. That was a huge action sequence. This book cannot be made into one movie. You cannot miss out on this, the events in Philadelphia. Yo, I recommend this for any fan of horror, action, thrillers. Big up yourself, Dan Simmons. I mean, fire upon them. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this, man. I had a great time. So till next time, on the African Geekdom, this has been me, Aman JP. Have your drinks. Maybe not as big as this one, but you know, Saturday. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Shooting.